everyone, good day, Algebra. We are going over the second page of PO18. We corrected the front side, and now we are pondering what a question such as, what is f of 4 when f of x equals 2x plus 12 means? What is it asking you to do? Pierce, tell me how you got there.
Wait, right? So the 4 is x, and then 2 times 4 plus 12.
Yeah, excellent. Right? When it's written in this notation, when it asks you what is f of 4, it's giving you the value 4x. Okay? X in that equation equals 4. So Pierce went to his equation, which remember is just the same as y equals 2x plus 12. And he substituted 4 in for x. He multiplied 2 and 4 together, get 8, added 12, and he got y equals 20. Okay? So what ordered pair, because it also mentions that here, it says write the ordered pair being described. What ordered pair is being described? Yeah. 420. When x is 4, y is 20. Okay? So again, this success requires you to understand what this question means. When it gives you that notation, f of a number, f of 4, it's giving you the x you need to solve for the y. Okay? Same equation, but the one straight across from it says 4 f of x equals 2x plus 12. Find x when f of x equals 16. Okay? It's worded differently here. Same equation, but it's worded differently. It's asking you to do something different. What is this equation asking you to do? Leah. We're not going to be plugging in the 16 in for x because part of this statement says find x, right? Which if it's asking you to find x, it means, Morgan?
16 equals 2x plus 12.
It's giving you y, right? Remember, f of x is the same thing as y. So you could read this as find x when y equals 16, which means we're plugging in 16 in for the y variable, that f of x notation, and we're going to have 16 equals 2x plus 12. Your big hint here is that it says find x. If you're finding the x value, it's not going to then give it to you, right? It's giving you the y. So subtract 12 from both sides, divide by 2, and we get a value of 2 for x. What ordered pair is being described here? Sarah? 216. X is 2, y is 16. Right? So all the 4 remaining questions here, all deal with, this one says, what is g of 5 when g of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x? What's that asking you to do? What is g of negative 2 when g of x is negative 3x squared minus 2x? What's that asking you to do? Okay? And the bottom 2 both say find x. Now, that's your big clue there for what you're trying to accomplish there. Okay? Those 4 will be part of your homework. The second part is going to be a different type of relation. Remember, we talked about function notation is designed to help us identify ordered pairs of relations. The other type of relation that we have here is a graph. Okay? So this situation says, the function d of t represents the U.S. national debt, where t is the number of years since 1970, and d of t is the national debt in trillions of dollars. Why are we using d and t here? Why not x and y? Why d and t? We talked about one of the reasons why we use graphs is to put things into context. Okay, why d and t here? Lila, you had your hand up. You're close. Not for debt and trillions. The D is for the debt, right? But that T represents time. Okay. D of T means that we've got the T time. That's our x-axis here, and the D of T is the debt, the y-axis there. But you're on the right track, and that it kind of applies to the concept that we're referring to. Okay. So what it says, what is d of 40? What's it asking you to do? Is this d of 40 giving you x or giving you y? Related to what we did up above, okay? What is d of 40? Is that giving you x or giving you y? Lauren, it's giving you x, okay? So on the x-axis, we're going to find 40. And what we're looking for is the value of y when x is 40. So we look at the graph here. What's the value of y when x is 40? What ordered pair do those two things intersect, John? 10, right? When x is 40, y is 10. On the graph, we were given the x variable. So we found that on our x-axis, on our time axis. And we looked for where the graph crosses to get the y value. And that happens to be 10. So it says, write your answer in context. What year are we talking about here in d of 40? It says t is the number of years since 1970. What year are we talking about if our t value, if our x value is 40? I mean, obviously it's not year 40, right? We were not a country in year 40, okay? So it's the number of years since 1970, meaning that x equals 0 here, this is 1970. You know, this graph starts in the year 1970 since it's the year since 1970. What year are we talking about? 2010, right? 1970 plus 40 is 2010. So in context, you might write in 2010, the debt was what? 10? $10? Even I could pay that off. Yeah. $10 trillion. Oh, now I can't pay it off anymore. Right? And you can write that as in words, 10 trillion, or the number written out, a 10 with 12 zeros after it. Okay? But that's what graphs can be used for, right? Contextual information here. Okay? The second question is very similar to the first one, only instead of 40, we're using 25. So kind of apply that here. Yeah, go ahead, Morgan.
Do we just like write that?
Yes. Well, you solved it by looking at where 40 was on the x-axis and then looking for where the graph crossed.
So are we like done with that one?
Yeah. Yay. Right? With an equation, there's often something to solve for. When you are interpreting a graph, you just kind of have to look at it. You have to know what you're looking for, right? But you just kind of have to look at it. Let's go down to number 3, since number 2 is very, very similar to the first one. It says find t, or find the time when d of t, which remember is just a way to say y, is 14. Find t when d of t, or y, is 14. What are we going to be looking for here? Find t, right? That's the one where it gives us the y, and we have to solve for the x. In this case, our x is the t, the time axis here. But again, we're being given y. Find t when y is 14. So we go to the y-axis and we look for 14. What's the x value of that order pair that's on the line? I shouldn't call it a line, but yeah, Lauren, 45, right? When y is 14, x is 45. That's where the graph crosses it. So in context, similar to what we did with the first one there, what year does 45 represent? Carly? 2015. Okay. In 2015, the debt was 14 trillion. And again, you can use the word or writing out in numbers. 14 trillion. My YouTube channel sub goal. Okay. The next one is also a graph. This one having to do with a rocket. Whoa. Okay, any questions on this? Sorry. May I proceed?
Wait,
No.
what about number 2?
Since that's so similar to the first one, I'm letting you do that one together. What's that?
Can you answer number 2?
Yes, I can. Well, it's a lot like the first
Can
one.
I say the answer? You share it. Yeah.
I will share tomorrow after you show me that you know how to do it.
Oh, wait.
In
Okay.
1995.
It is, yes. The second one, we have another graph. This one details the path of a little rocket ship. Okay. It says the function f of x represents the height of a rocket, where x is the time since the rocket was launched, and y is the height of the rocket in feet. So again, here our x-axis deals with time, and in this case, our y-axis deals with height. Okay. Why does it make sense that this is a parabola? Is what this graph is called here. Why does it make sense? How does the graph fit the situation here, Aiden? Yeah.
Did the rocket have a crash landing?
I assume so. Let's make it more interesting and say yes, it did. Okay. Why does this graph make sense for the situation here? Imagine in your head a rocket launching. What is that rocket going to do? It's going to go up and then come back down, hopefully in a really fantastic crash landing, right? We can assume there are no people in this rocket, considering it only goes up 700 feet, so we're okay there. This rocket can crash, right? But this makes sense because it's going to go up and come back down. So what is f of 7? Think about what it's asking you to find, and then write your answer in context. Okay? Find t when f of x, which remember is just y. Find t when y equals 300. Write your answer in context. And then lastly, how high is the rocket at its highest point? How long did it take to get there? Okay. So this second page, whatever we did not do, is homework for tomorrow. It is already time for me to let you go. So unless there are any quick questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, or criticisms. Yes, Lauren? Yes. Nice catch. Look for that. Yeah. The second one, there are actually 2 answers. Okay. All right, folks, that's how you math. Don't forget to like and subscribe.